one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
I'm coming. I promise you, on my life, I'm coming. From the first snap, man. From the first second. What are we gonna do, man? All back against the wall. All back is against the wall.
I'm ready for whatever right now.
The problem is you dudes treat the one that you loving with the same respect that you treat the one that you humping. Welcome back. Another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Yo, how is everybody doing out there? Recording this before the game, before Baltimore go out there and get that first dub on Lamar's path to winning his first Super Bowl, because it's going to happen this year, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen. I need everybody to just rest your minds. If you're a Raven fan, if you're a part of the flock, just calm down. This is the first step. But I'm telling you, if you're losing your mind this week, you're really going to lose it next week because of who I believe we're going to end up playing. Regardless, the real test is next week. It'll be pain. It'll be sorrow if we end up losing this game because of what I'm going to have to get on here and say. But don't worry. Rest your minds. Have the faith that I have. Lamar Jackson, if you trust what you've seen, if you trust what you've watched, if you trust me, it's going to be all right. It's never easy because you understand you lose this, you go home. But if you love Lamar Jackson, you understand the narratives that'll be painted around him. But listen, this is all a part of football. Heartbreak happens, but listen to me. It's not going to happen this year. Lamar Jackson is getting to a Super Bowl. This Lamar Jackson, this Baltimore Ravens, see, it's not even just about Lamar Jackson. And you know what? That's on me. Maybe I done leaned into the Lamar side of this too much. But let me talk to you. This is a better secondary, a better linebacking core, a better front four, a better everything, a better offensive line. Now, that offensive line in 2019 was phenomenal. They didn't have the center on that line that they have now. And while Ronnie Staley is not the player he was then, now, and Marshall Yonda is no longer here, Morgan Moses and the boys have done a job. Lamar Jackson's ability to play within the pocket, to manipulate the pocket, to understand how to move in the pocket has helped the line immensely. The receiving core. I told y'all last year, Rashad Bateman is a 3 or a 2. And right now I'm leaning towards 3. I said that exact quote last year. Look at how great he is playing at the 3 position. Odell and Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers looking like a number 1 receiver more and more every day. When you don't have the height and you can run your routes the way Zay Flowers run his routes, it changes things. And I told y'all a couple weeks ago, the thing for the Ravens, because I don't see a weakness right now. The weakest part of the team is the receiving core. However, in saying that, if they remain consistent and get better every week, they won't be a problem because they get open, not just because Lamar Jackson can create extra time. They run good routes. Go look at the tape. Rashad Bateman runs good routes. His biggest problem is not his route running. It's the hands. Oh, not the same receiver he used to be, but he runs great routes. And he usually can beat you anyways because he got great hands. Zay Flowers, great route runner. Isaiah Likely is special. He can run great routes, and his athleticism allows him to not only get open, but make tough catches, run after the Isaiah Likely is a 1. I'm starting to see that. And you want to know what's crazy? I would never disrespect Mark Andrews because I think Mark Andrews, the way he run his routes and his hands is unreal. Isaiah Likely have something that Mark don't have. And if Isaiah Likely could become a number 1 tight end for something, because he's going to get a contract. Isaiah Likely at some point in time is going to get a big dog contract. My goodness, Isaiah Likely is a stud. But this is not the same offense. This is not the same team that played in 2019. That was a Baltimore Raven team that was kicking the doors down on the league saying, we here. Y'all said we couldn't do this. We here. We did this. We did. This is a mature, evolved Baltimore Ravens, a team that's done been kicked while they was down, a team that's done faced failures, a team that done had to walk through the fire multiple times, and now we are here. Listen to me. Patrick Queen is as good as he's ever been. Roquan Smith is the best, if not the second best middle linebacker, depending on what team you root for when it comes to San Fran or the Ravens in the NFL. Kyle Hamilton is special. You didn't have those 3 players in 2019. This is a different Baltimore Ravens team. I understand how good the Texans are, but the Texans as a team are not better than the Ravens. And I told you all the time, when it come down to picking hairs, which this is not that, you go with the quarterbacks. The Baltimore Ravens have the better quarterback also. The only way Baltimore loses game is if the entire team has a meltdown. They can survive the defense struggling. They can survive Lamar struggling. They can survive the receiving core struggling. But if they all struggle and they all struggle the entire game, that's when you lose. And the Baltimore Ravens haven't shown you that they do something like that this year. So I understand why we got to take history into account. But trust what you're seeing this year. All right. Sunday's divisional games, we got to get to them. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. I'm seeing the ticket prices for those games, and that's outrageous. Now, I heard somebody say that could be because of the resale value of them. Like, it's not the Detroit Lions doing that, but the Detroit Lions could get ahead of this. Like, bro, this is absolutely ridiculous. Why in God's name would you finally get a playoff? You finally get to the playoffs, and this is what you're doing? I'm not paying a band plus to go see Baker Mayfield take on Jared Goff, bro. It's not happening. But listen to me. I'm taking the Lions in this game because I don't think Tampa Bay play that good against good teams. And this is another thing. For everybody who, boost up Baker and whatnot, I'm very interested to see how he play against this Detroit defense, who I don't think is a great Detroit defense. And he has weapons to be able to exploit this Detroit defense. Now, Baker Mayfield is on as easy a path to get to the Super Bowl as he will probably ever have. Why? Because Jared Goff could still go out there and lay an egg against Tampa's defense. Because I understand we don't think highly of Tampa's defense, but Tampa's defense got a lot of dudes on that team that went to that Super Bowl. They got a lot of teams that's done been through the fire, who understand how to play winning football, who understand, like I told you last week, that the Packers they could put together a perfect game. So, while I understand Detroit is the higher ranked team, Baker Mayfield could put together a good enough game to still win this game. However, if this becomes a shootout, I do not believe Tampa Bay will win this game because I do not want Baker Mayfield in a shootout, bro. If he get into a shootout, he throwing 2 picks, bro. It's going to happen. And I understand that Detroit could get into throw 2 picks with Jared Goff. The difference is Matthew Stafford could make throws that Baker is not going to make unless the dude is wide open. Matthew Stafford can extend a play good enough to where he can hit a guy on a throw that most quarterbacks not making. That's not Baker. So Detroit's going to have opportunities to be able to run up the score a couple times because Detroit's defense will play good enough. Also, if Aiden Hutchinson have a great game, Detroit's going to win this game because I like the offensive line for Tampa, but they can be had. I done seen them be had this year. And so I don't even know if I really like them that much, but they can be had. Aiden Hutchinson got to have a big game. I want to see Aiden Hutchinson have a big, because you're at home. How many more opportunities you're going to have playoff games at home? Because if you play Detroit next week, if you play San Fran next week, that's on the road. And while, yeah, it'd be nice if his best game is also on the road, you got to eat off of this crowd, my boy. And I think Aiden Hutchinson had a decent game last week, but I know Aiden can be better. I know he can be better. I'm taking Detroit, though, but I do kind of have a feeling this will be a close game because I believe that Jared Goff will give the ball away in this game 1 to 2 times. And if that happens, I'm not putting the reason I'm not taking Tampa is I'm not betting on Baker. However, if Baker and these dudes cannot miss throws and make the catch, they can stay in this game. Now, the problem is when you get late into the game, the crowd get real crazy. You got to get it type plays. I don't know if they'll be able to do it because I don't think they'll be able to run the ball as good on Detroit. So ultimately, that's why I'm taking the Detroit Lions to win this at home. Kansas City, Buffalo, the game we all been waiting for. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. So we meet again. Round 3. This time it's in Buffalo. Pat Mahomes is 2-0 against Josh Allen in the playoffs. I know Bill fans want me to bring up that Josh Allen is 3-1 in the last 4 times he done played Pat Mahomes in the regular season. This ain't the regular season. It's been a funny season to the media. I see a lot of people saying that Pat Mahomes has not had a better year than Josh Allen, yada, yada, yada. I don't agree with that. While I wouldn't tell you that Pat Mahomes has had the far better year, I think it's insane to say that Pat Mahomes has not had just as great a year as Josh Allen because he hasn't been able to. I think people keep forgetting Josh Allen still has Stephon Diggs over there. Like, Stephon Diggs has not shown drop off in his game, but him and Josh Allen have struggled this year. You look at Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce has clearly shown drop off in his game. So I'm not really understanding how people judging Pat Mahomes and what bar we judging him off of. Like, you can't always say, well, in his best years, look at the stats. Like, bro, that's so ignorant. You got to go off of what's happening that year, bro. Like, he don't have Tyreek Hill out there. So, listen, I'm taking Kansas City. This is much like to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And if I ain't seen you beat the man, I'm not finna just blindly pick you. It is a bit of that. However, Buffalo's defense, while they might have looked good against Pittsburgh last week, this ain't Pittsburgh. And I understand that Kansas City does not have the offense but the Kansas City defense is a great defense. And I keep telling you, when the playoffs roll around, Kansas City's defense shows up. And you got to have a Jamar Chase, a Tyler Boyd, and a T. Higgins type of advantage to be able to take advantage of them. Buffalo is not walking into this game with that type of advantage. Bro, people keep saying Kansas City ain't never played in the playoffs on the road. I understand that. But they played in multiple Super Bowls. None of which were in Kansas City. I think that's a lot tougher of a test than just playing some playoff games on the road, bruh. Now, to me, that is a ridiculous thing to be trying to knock Kansas City for, bruh. If Kansas City play Baltimore and people have Kansas City in the AFC championship game, I understand that because that's Patrick fucking Mahomes in the playoff. No, that's playoff Mahomes, bruh. Put some respect on that man. So this playoff they playing on the road, I don't give a damn about that. The defense of Kansas City has shown on multiple occasions they can shut down a number one receiver. They will not be beat by a number one receiver. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs done struggled already anyways most of the season. Dalton Kincaid done played a bigger role. A tight end is not finna shred this Kansas City defense in the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, if Josh Allen and them boys win, it's gonna be on a couple, like a last drive type effort because the Kansas City's defense is going to have a game. I can hear it now. I can see it now. They sitting in the locker room like, okay, everybody doubting this. Everybody think, oh, they on the road. So, bro, listen to me. If it's a quarterback that I'm going to have faith in, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes to figure some shit out, even on the road. Point blank, period, bro. Pat, listen, this is not the same Buffalo Bills team that everybody in the sports media keep telling you that it is. It's not. This is not a Buffalo. I understand they done beat more of the playoff teams than Kansas City. But Buffalo played a lot of teams in the AFC that they, matter of fact, I don't even care about that. I don't even care because they both lost to the Eagles when the Eagles was playing at their best. Listen, throwing all that out the window. As much as I think Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have played good to get to where they are, they have not played significantly better than Kansas City to this point. Not to mention, at some point in time, the injuries that the Bills have suffered on defense is going to catch up. Micah Hyde haven't even played good this year. They play Rapp more than they play Hyde. You still missing key pieces like Matt Milano and whatnot. At some point in time, even if I understand people don't think Snead is a big enough name. You got to understand Kansas. You got to just watch the film. Kansas City's defense has shut down multiple top tier receivers this year. Steve Spagnuolo is a phenomenal defensive coordinator, especially in the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, Kansas City is going to put up it's not even going to have to be a Herculean effort. They have a good enough defense to shut down whatever Buffalo throw at them. And that's when the game going to get tight. And that's when the turnovers could happen for Josh Allen. Because when you don't have Stephon Diggs and Kansas City is able to eliminate that extra nonsense that you throw at them with the short plays, the little screen plays, the dump offs and the things like that, when they find a way to shut down Dalton Kincaid, what do you do next? That's when Josh Allen going to have to start forcing plays. And that's when I believe the turnovers will begin to happen. I believe that Kansas City will find a way to penetrate the defense of Buffalo before Buffalo finds a way to penetrate the defense of Kansas City. It's plain and simple. Now, maybe the home field do give Buffalo that extra boost. I don't think it will. I think the defense for Kansas City has been so consistent, not just this year, but every year they make it to the playoffs. And because you don't have, do you understand what it took for Kansas City to lose the years that they didn't get to the Super Bowl? Tom Brady, who we consider the greatest of all time, and Joe Burrow having Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins playing at their absolute apexes. That's what it took to take out Pat Mahomes. Not to mention, he was leading at some point in both of those games. So it wasn't like they just straight up took him out. Buffalo does not have that type of weaponry. And I understand people say, well, Josh Allen make up the difference. So does Pat Mahomes for his team. And he is the greater quarterback. He is the better quarterback. And while people keep saying how great Josh Allen done played this year, Pat Mahomes has played just as great. So, in my opinion, it's wild to think we keep praising Josh Allen for his best game being a loss on the road at Pat Mahomes' house, but not thinking that Pat Mahomes can't go into Josh Allen's house and do the exact same thing and get the win. Like, the fact that people keep trying to base these big losses on, oh, he was on the road, to me, that's crazy. And I understand home field play an advantage, but at the end of the day, that is crazy to keep using that as the entire bet. Like, that's basically ignoring what happened in the game and just saying, yeah, it was because they at home. What? Maybe the defense need to find a way to get a stop. But I understand some Buffalo fans not gonna agree with my what I have to say. But listen, I think Buffalo have a good enough defense. I just think Ed Oliver will find. Bro, Kansas City's defense is not going to let Ed Oliver fuck up the entire game. Von Miller haven't been the same player. He haven't been the player that you signed since you signed him. You don't have Matt Milano. You don't have Tre'Davious White. You're missing the other pass rusher too. Like, I just don't think that the pass rush for Buffalo is good enough to really fuck Pat Mahomes over. And I said it last week against Miami. Miami's inability to pass rush against Pat Mahomes was going to make this a game that you don't really expect, but Pat Mahomes going to have a easier game in that game than you think, because if he can just sit back and you have to generate the pass rush by just sending an all-out blitz, Pat Mahomes can beat that. Not only that, if you can't consistently get there with just the 4, Pat Mahomes is going to find a way to beat you. Point blank, you can't defend that long, especially against a quarterback like Pat Mahomes that can make shit shake. Buffalo have a decent pass rush, but with all the injuries they done suffered, they don't have a good enough pass rush, in my opinion, to stop. Listen, last week they played Kenny fucking Pickett, bro. This ain't Mason Rudolph. This ain't Mason Rudolph, bro. This is Patrick fucking Mahomes. The lack of a consistent pass rush is coming back to bite Buffalo at some point in time in this game, if not throughout the entirety of the game. When you think you got him on a 3rd and long where you can get a stop, the lack of a pass rush. Not to mention, I trust Isaiah Pacheco more than I trust James Cook. I trust the running game for Kansas City. And I believe the run game for Kansas City could run them past Buffalo in this game. Like, there's no way you can tell me that Buffalo going to be able to just load the box all game to stop Pacheco because the Kansas City Chiefs don't have a receiver. That's foolish. You got Pat Mahomes playing quarterback. Stop it. I know Travis Kelce haven't been the Hall of Fame tight end in people's mind that he is this year, but he can still go out there and rewind the clock and remind you why he a first ballot Hall of Famer. So to me, I think it's a bit foolish the way people have talked about the Kansas City Chiefs coming into this game. And I understand picking Buffalo, but I haven't heard the media really give me too good of a reason as to why I should pick Buffalo, other than Buffalo had a better end of the season. Buffalo had to fight to get their way into this. Look at how Buffalo playing without actually telling you how Buffalo is actually playing. It's ridiculous. But this is going to be a short episode because we got to record another episode tonight after the game. So with that being said, those are my picks for Sunday. I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. I'm about to make a bowl of sorrel and watch this game. I fuck with you. I love you. Like, share, subscribe. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home.
Like,